Here data is transferred between the primary memory, secondary memory and other components also. So data bus transfers data between different components. We call that as what? The data bus. In the first generation, that is in 1971 and 73, the microprocessor chip, we call it as what? LSI, organized in tables which is easy to process. We call that as what? The structured data, which is Hello everyone, myself Jayashree Chandru, Department in Computer Science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Welcome back to the session 2, Chapter 1, Computer System. Last session we have learned the units of the memory. So the continuation of the Chapter 1, let us see. So in this session we'll be discussing about data transfer between the memory and the CPU, microprocessors, microcontroller, data and the information. So these are some of the concepts we'll be covering under this session. So one by one, let us discuss data transfer between the memory and the CPU. How the data has been transferred between the memory and the CPU, let us understand. Data need to be transferred between the CPU and the primary memory as well as between the primary and the secondary memory is known as what? The data transfer. Data transfer between components through the system. Data need to be transferred between the CPU and the primary memory as well as primary memory and the secondary memory. How it takes place, let us understand. CPU, memory and input and the output devices. Here you are seeing control bus, address bus and the data bus. Whole thing we call it as what? The system bus. So how the transfer will take place and what exactly the working of each and every component, let us understand one by one. That is what we call as a bus type. That is, what is data bus, address bus and the control bus. Here let us understand control bus, address bus and the data bus. So data bus transfers data between different components. We call that as what? The data bus. Address bus is nothing but transfers address between the CPU and the memory. We call that as the address bus. And control bus, this we call as a control bus. So control bus is nothing but which communicates control signals between the components of the different components which controls the control signals. We call that as what? The control bus. So next we have microprocessor. What exactly the microprocessor, the working of the microprocessor, let us understand. A microprocessor, a processor CPU implemented on a single microchip is called as what? The microprocessor. Microprocessors have evolved over time regarding the processing capability and decreased physical size and more slow. The number of transistors in integrated circuits doubled every year, every 2 years. So these are the functions of the microprocessor. So let us understand the generation of the microprocessor or the evolution of the microprocessors. So in the first generation, that is in 1971 and 73, the microprocessor chip, we call it as what? LSI, that is 4 by 8 bit and that is a maximum size is 1 KB and the clock speed is 108 Hertz, that is 200. So same way in the second generation, third, fourth and the fifth, that is we are in the fifth generation, 1995 till date, that is SLSI, that is a 64-bit microprocessor that which carries 64 GB and 533 megahertz to 34 gigahertz. So these are the generations of the microprocessor. So next let us understand the features based on which the microprocessors are classified. How based on the features, how microprocessors are classified, let us see. So the word size, memory size, clock speed and the cores. Let us see one by one. So the word size, which is maximum number of bits that can the microprocessor can process at a time. So that we call it as a word size, that is 16 bits maximum with word size of 64 bits. Memory size, depending upon the word size, the size of the RAM also, it varies up to 16 exabytes. And clock speed, the number of pulses which is generated per second by the clock inside the computer, and also it can indicate the speed which the computer can execute the instructions, that is a clock speed. Next we have the cores. So what is a core? Core is a basic computation unit, the CPU that increases the system's performance is nothing but the cores. So these are some of the features based on the microprocessors, how it is being classified, that is word size, memory size, clock speed and the core. Next, what is microcontroller? Microcontroller is a small computing device which, as a CPU, it is also fixed with the amount of RAM and ROM and other peripheral devices all embedded on a single chip. And as compared to the microprocessor that has only one CPU on the chip, that is as compared to the microprocessor that has only a CPU on the chip, this we call it as what? The microcontroller. So here you can see the microcontroller, how the structure of the microcontroller here. So the simple use of microcontroller has permitted respective execution and also the tasks automatically how it is performed without any human intervention, means without any help of the human intervention. The structure of the microcontroller here you can see the clock, CPU and the memory. This is a bus system, input and the output with 1 by 0 ports. So this is a block diagram of the microcontroller. So data and the information, let us understand. So data and the information, as we all know, that data can be a raw and unorganized facts and figures, and after the data, when it is being processed to the meaningful information, that we call it as what? The data and the information. Data is raw facts and figures. When the data has been processed to the meaningful information, we call that as what? The information. This is nothing but data and the information. Of course, in the data also we have a types of data: structured data and unstructured data and semi-structured data. Structured, unstructured and semi-structured data. So what is structured data? Organized in tables which is easy to process, we call that as what? The structured data, which is into the rows and the columns, or it is sorted, we call that as a structured data. Unstructured data like audio, video, text, images without any fixed format, we call that as the unstructured data. Then semi-structured data. What is a semi-structured data? Tagged data like emails, HTML and CSV files, we call that as a semi-structured data. So these are the types of the data. In the next slide, let us understand what is data capturing, how the data is being captured. So the process of gathering the data from the different sources in the digital form is nothing but capturing the data, like keyboards, barcode readers used at the shopping outlets, etc. We call this as what? Data capturing. Next, data storage. How the data is being stored, let us see. So the files and the documents, as we all know, that are recorded digitally and saved in one system or a storage system for the future use. And nowadays the data is being produced at every high rate, and therefore the data storage has become a challenging task, as we all know that. And data keeps on increasing with time. So hence the storage devices also required, and also it has to be upgraded periodically. So data storage is day by day it is increasing, and storing a data is, of course, it is a challenging. So also the storage data also should be upgraded periodically. So this is about the data storage. Next, data retrieval. How can we retrieve a data? Fetching data from the storage devices for its processing as per the requirement. And as databases grow, the challenges involved in search and the retrieval of the data in the acceptable time, and also it increases. The data retrieving, that is fetching a data from the storage devices for its processing and for the as per the user requirement. The database, of course, it grows. The challenges involved in search and the retrieval, that is fetching a data, is acceptable at time, in the acceptable time, and also it is increases. So this we call it as what? The data retrieval. Next we have data deletion and data recovery. What is data deletion and what is data recovery? Let us understand. Deleting digitally stored data means changing the details of the data at a bit level every time is consuming. So data digitally can be detected due to the malfunctioning of the storage devices, use errors or hacking. So this we call as a data deletion. Recovery of a data, of course, it involves retrieving the deleted data, corrupted data from the secondary storage. Proper disposal of old and the malfunctioning storage devices is very crucial. And limiting system access using a password and encrypting the files is nothing but data recovery. So this is about the data and the information. So in the next session, let us discuss more about other topics. Thank you.